So first of all, let me just correct something. Yes, no question. Probably correct is too strong a word. You're right. Big win for the president and the White House, congressional Democrats. Much, much bigger win for the American people. That's really where the Inflation Reduction Act hits the road, and very much in the spirit of your questions, which I'll get to, including inflation reduction. But when you're talking about lowering the cost of health care for seniors, capping expenditures that can be $10,000 a year for someone who's dealing with a tragic illness like cancer at $2,000 a year, when you're talking about helping people significantly cut the cost of purchasing everything from clean energy renewables to electric vehicles, standing up the deepest investment in renewables and clean energy, both in terms of manufacturing and in terms of, again, individual purchases of everything from solar panels to wind to heat pumps. You're talking about a measure that's going to significantly reduce costs in some areas where family budgets really pinch. So yes on inflation, more so yes on a big win for the American people.
Well, let's talk about the impact on business. There is this 15% minimum tax. There's also this issue about a 1% tax on buybacks, which was added in place of the carried interest piece of it. Let's go to the carried interest piece first. Can you explain who got to Senator Sinema and what that was about?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the answer to a question like that. There are people who are probably tracking the negotiations closer than I. I'm here to do economic policy analysis, and let me tell you a little bit about that. So what came out, the carried interest, closing that loophole, something the president has always called for. That was a $14 billion score over 10 years. That is, it reduced the deficit by $14 billion. What went in, the 1% excise tax on buybacks, reduced the deficit by $74 billion over 10 years. So in a sense, in a very real sense, more deficit reduction there, which, by the way, gets back to your first question. The deficit reduction, much of which is front-loaded in this bill, is very much disinflationary. It's very much in the spirit of what you were just talking to Steve Leisman about, negative fiscal impulse. So that's another way in which the bill helps.
Do you have any concerns when it comes to the issue of buybacks? And I know we've had debates about whether they should be taxed or shouldn't be taxed, but there is an argument to be made that you're going to see executives, you're going to see a couple things. I think there's an expectation you're going to see a lot of buybacks this year to get ahead of that. I don't know if you think that's a good or bad thing. Maybe if the stock market's down, companies are going to buy their stock for cheap, and that's good. On the flip side, executives, oftentimes paid with stock, gives them skin in the game. One of the reasons they buy back stock is to prevent dilution. That may dissipate a bit. Do you have any concerns about sort of unexpected exogenous things taking place as a result of this?
Yeah, I think they can go another way as well, which I'll get to in a second, which is potentially more retained earnings, greater investment, which ultimately would actually boost the value of companies. Let me point out this by starting with, Jared's first rule of tax avoidance, which is if one type of a payout is favored over another tax-wise, you can bet that everybody with a tax lawyer is going to go for that type. And the fact that buybacks are treated differently in the tax code than dividends creates a distortive incentive that has been really overly taken advantage of in recent years. After the first year of the Republican tax cut, buybacks amounted to something like $1 trillion, and we saw a negative impact on corporate investment. So this tax not only injects fairness into the tax code, it raises more than what it replaces. It has the potential to actually incentivize more internal investment, something we haven't seen enough of. So I think the incentives point in the right direction, and also, once again, disinflationary in terms of deficit reduction.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.